head, I closed my eyes and breathe your heart. The distant voices foreboding. Your fast plays and your fast ways are drowning the sound. The ground beneath you is shaky. Into my house now quaking, I just can't deny. The music drew you right to me, so we envisioned rising to galactic sounds. I walked right into your story. It filled my head, I closed my eyes and breathed your heart. The distant voices foreboding. Your fast plays and your fast ways are drowning the sound. The ground beneath you is shaky. Into my house now quaking, I just can't deny.
Hi, and welcome to RCR Presents Real Discussions with Real Chicks. I'm your host for this afternoon, Michelle Dawes-Bird. I am CEO and founder of Real Chicks Rock, and I'm just excited to be here this afternoon. There's a lot of power here at the table from a corporate America perspective, and we're going to talk to these ladies in just a minute. Just want to give you guys a little background as to what Real Chicks is all about. Real Chicks Rock is a movement. It's a brand that empowers, inspires, and motivates all women. And we do that through the arts, we do it through our apparel line, we do it through mentoring, and we do it through community service. Today we decided to have an opportunity to raise that consciousness, raise our brand if we will, if we could, by having a voice today. And today we're going to talk about some of the pros and cons about working in corporate America. But before we dig into that, I want to kind of just give a light introduction to my guests and let them have an opportunity just to say hello so that you know that they're here with me. I'm not having this conversation by myself. I'm not here alone today. So here on my left, I know you can't see her, but it is my friend, Mildred Cunningham. We call her Moni. She's been in corporate America for, I would say, maybe over 30 years or so. Long time. And she's in a management role. We're going to talk a little bit about that in just a second. But for now, welcome, Moni. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you. To Moni's left is Zelda Lane. Zelda, I haven't seen Zelda in a couple of years, but she is just a burst of energy. She is a big supporter of Real Chicks Rock, and I thank her for that. She's worked in corporate America for how long?
Over 20 plus.
20 plus years, right. So I welcome her today. Thanks for being here today, Zelda. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
You.
Okay. Fonda Clayton Smith. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Fonda has worked in corporate America, but she's going to tell us a little bit more about why she's not working in corporate America, and we're going to get to that. But while you were there, how long did you work for corporate?
Oh, I don't know, 10, 12 years.
Okay, great. Was it in a management role?
It was.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right. So let's just dig into it. So these ladies here, I think, just adding the numbers together, we're clearly over 40, maybe 50 years of corporate America experience. Myself, I've been working with corporate since I was 16. So I don't even want to tell my age, but I am. So it's almost over 30 years. I've had some type of a corporate background or experience, if you will. When I was growing up, initially, when you go to college, you go to high school, then you go to college, and and back then, that was a time where college was the next level, and it was always spoken highly to get that corporate job. Like you wanted to graduate it from college and get into corporate America sooner than later, right? You wanted that steady income, you wanted the benefits that came with it. Then there was this thing called 401k and all of these things that went with it. So when we got out of college, we had guidance counselors and people that helped us get interviews and get placed and that type of thing. So I have always been involved from an IT perspective. I think most of you may have. I'm looking at Zelda. We did a little bit of IT while we worked together, but I think it varies. Moni might be in HR. And Fonda, what was your background in corporate?
Fashion.
So it was fashion. So we have a lot of diversity here at the table. But when you were thinking about coming into corporate America, did you think you would be able to work for them for the next 30 years of your life?
Well, for me, this is Moni. Initially, I came in thinking that I would go into a company and retire.
Okay.
So that was my, my parents always said, go to school, get your job, stay there and get your pension,
Right.
and have the white picket fence and everything,
Yes.
and just go about it. And it has been everything but that. Sometimes it's been your ups and downs, and right now I'm in management, and I'm not in human resources. I'm in insurance.
Okay.
And I'm in a management role. I train new hires, and it's just been very interesting to see what's taken place over the past few years, as well as in these past few years. Let me say that some might say the Obama years, how things have gone. But it's been very interesting. There have been times when I've wanted to leave because of the politics and everything else that goes around it. But then you have family that you have to support. You have dreams, and economics plays a big part.
Right.
I think I've spoken with Michelle before, and letting her know that I'm interested in going to the next level, which is being an entrepreneur. I like to write, and so that's one of the things I've that God has put in my spirit for me to write several years ago. And so we've talked about it before, and she's wonderful at at motivating. When she talks about inspiring and motivating, every time I talk to her, it's like, yes, I can do it. Yes, I can do it. But by the same token, then you wake up Monday morning, you got to go to work, and you do these things, and it's become more and more difficult to do the things I want to do. And as I've gotten older, I've thought that it would be easier.
Right.
I thought that this time in my life, I'm 55 years old, and I thought that by now, I would be ready to, but it's become more and more difficult. So, it's just been interesting. We've talked about some ideas, and we've gone over a couple of things. And, I'm going to be looking to you ladies, who I'm assuming are younger, and, to give me some ideas on how to get started. And Jay, to give me, inspiration and some ideas to get started. Most of my passion in writing comes from experience. I guess that's probably most people, but mine's mostly with my child, my son, and sports. I'm a sports mom, and so we had some. Michelle knows we had some issues that took place some years ago that's made me want to expose and to write and that kind of thing. So I'm going to be looking to you guys to help me branch out and do that.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Sounds good. So, Zelda, tell us how you got started. Like, what was your driver? Why did you want to be a part of corporate America?
Same thing like Moni said, was you go to college, get a good job. And actually, in my family, it was 4 girls and 1 boy. And my brother did not go to college. My oldest sister went but didn't graduate.
Okay.
So I was the first one in my family to graduate.
Right.
And when you came out, you didn't get that corporate job. I actually started with the city government. I worked for the city of Atlanta.
Wow.
And initially you were trying to get that big job
Right.
with the big dollars, and
Right.
you're looking at it as, I have all these student loans and I'm not getting paid
Right.
what I thought I was going to make coming out of college. But like Moni was saying, you have these dreams and you put it on hold because you were told to get a pension, retire, and then maybe at that time you can bring your dreams back and
Right.
start working on them.
Right.
So basically that's what happened. But like you were mentioning, is that the company, their plan is different.
Right.
That
Right.
they downsized, and actually in April my job was eliminated.
Right.
And this is actually the longest I've been out of work since I've started working.
Really.
This break that I'm taking right now,
Yeah.
and it's making me refocus on my dreams.
Okay. So no desire to go back in the corporate?
No desire.
Okay. And we're going to talk about your support system, why you feel empowered, why you don't have to go back, right? Because you got to have a support system in place in order to do that.
Exactly.
We're going to come back to that in a second. Fonda, tell us what drove you to corporate when you were doing it.
My daddy told me I had to. Not only was I the first to go to college, I was the first to graduate in my family on both sides.
Right.
And it was just the assumption. This was the script. This is what you do. You go to school, you
Right.
graduate, you get a good job, and you get your 401k, and you go out to the pasture, and you just wait to die. Basically,
Right.
that's the formula. And
And in the meantime, you live.
Right.
A little bit,
You try-
hopefully.
Between
you try-
hopefully
you try to
jobs
live.
start finishing.
Right.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
to squeak in a couple of weekends and doing
Yeah,
this and doing
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
Yes, 100. You only live for 104 days out of the year. You know, just the
Wow.
weekends. And
Wow.
you know, when you think about it that way, it's just kind of like, really,
Yeah.
like. So I didn't really have a choice. I never thought that I had a choice. You know, like went to college in New York City
Right.
with international kids from around the world.
Mhm.
So I went to FIT,
Mhm.
and you know, they graduated and they were going to Europe to go find themselves.
Wow.
And I was a commuter, and so I was just like, "What do you mean? Where'd you lose yourself?
Right.
You know, I don't have time for that. I gotta
Right.
get a job."
Right.
I have
Right.
bills to
Um,
pay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
or chip in
exactly.
on the mortgage or rent
Yeah.
wherever you're staying, because you couldn't
Yes.
stay with your parents and not contribute.
Right.
That was like law, right?
Right.
They was
Right.
waiting on you to bring in some cake, some cash. For real, that's like law. You stay at my house, then you get paid today. They knew you got when you got paid better than you
Don't
did.
you know it?
Yeah,
All
either
right,
that
so
or you
good.
got a whole bunch of rules.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
There you
that
go.
too.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about that because for me too, I thought it was the way out of the projects, right? Because I'm a Bronx kid. And I, born and raised in the projects, and I thought, working on Wall Street or down in Battery Park or Midtown or anywhere, I thought I would be something, you know what I mean? And so I needed that corporate job. It really, not for nothing, but to help my family out as well, too, of whatever I could do. But then as I got into it, to Moni's point, and your point as well, Fonda, that I felt the walls starting to close in kind of early. And this is before we even had technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was back in the day where you actually worked on a desktop. There were no laptops. So whatever, you had to stay and do all your work, and then you left it there, and you come back the next day and you pick it up where you left off. So it was a rat race beginning to be a little bit, but I didn't know. I was still sold on the guidance counselor telling me all of the benefits about working for corporate and the fact that they thought that I was good enough to be promoted in whatever it is that I wanted to do. So over the years, as I've worked and I've worked hard, and you've gotten your cost of living raise, and maybe you got a little bit of increase and those kind of things, and you applied for jobs, right? I've applied for a couple of jobs throughout my career, and I didn't get them. And you go back and you do the feedback and you say, well, excuse me, madam, sir, why didn't I get it? I want to hone in on those skills and figure out what I need to do so that the next time another opportunity comes around, I can qualify and get it. And they said, well, you just don't have it. And I think this was the last time I heard that told to me when Zelda and I worked together for the same company. You just don't have it. And when they couldn't articulate what it was, then I looked at it totally differently. And so then I look at companies as, it may give it away when I say, well, it's just soda. And we just make hammers. And we just make baby clothes. I started to put what they do in its proper perspective, because I was just a cog in the wheel, period.
Exactly.
And they were going to make their money with or without me. And I should have felt privileged to be a part of this conglomerate, and that they pay me every 2 weeks for. That's what it was. And then part of my life was going away, because now people are thinking, well, what the hell do you do that you're working on the weekends and you're working late nights? Are you a manager? I'm not even a manager. I'm just a cog in the wheel. So because you have personal aspirations, like this silly thing like eating and paying your bills on time, how about that? And a little travel here and there.
Buy a shoe.
Yeah, buy a shoe. Got to be fly with the shoe, though. You become a slave to somebody else.
Exactly.
So now I want to ask, because you women are beautiful. You can't see it, but trust me, these ladies are really gorgeous. And they're all happily married. So I want to know, as you were working in corporate, how did you find that mate and continue to work and do your job and have this career while you had your husband and children, etc.? I'm looking at Moni. Moni's giving me that face. How did you do it?
Wow. It's because we've been together for so long.
Right.
And I said 31 years, but it's actually 37.
Wow.
6 years dating.
Dating.
We met my freshman year in college, my first week.
He saw you,
Oh,
girl.
He
wow.
nabbed that up.
Yes,
He said, I got to have it.
And
Woo!
he got it.
He got it.
It was a
Yeah.
while before I got it, but
Yeah, he got it. Yeah. All right.
I'm old school.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's always been just part of the I think someone said the script.
Yeah.
It was almost as though, and sometimes I sit back and I look, and it's been so long till I can't remember not being with,
Right.
not being with him, not working, not, and as I'm sitting here listening to you, it's really troubling when she talked about 102
102,
days?
right? 102 days that we have
104.
104 days.
in a year. And
Yeah.
I think about how much time, and Michelle and I have talked about, there are times at night when I may email her and it's
Right.
11 o'clock at
Right.
night.
Right.
I'm working.
You're working.
And it's just been one of those things where, my husband has been very, very giving and very understanding. And, when I first started working, it was a job.
Right.
It was a job. And then it turned into, okay, I'm starting to be recognized a little bit for
Okay.
for the talent and for the things that I do. And more, and not even so much for the talent, as much as for the rapport that you have with others.
Yes.
And I always let people know that's a lot more important than even your talent sometimes.
Yes.
Your
It's
talent
everything.
is good,
It
but
is.
that rapport that I'm telling you, people don't understand it. And as a trainer of young people, I train new hires. One thing our kids don't have a lot of times is the soft skills that
Right.
they need,
Right.
which is what they have that get them up the ladder a
Right.
lot quicker.
Right.
And so I didn't, I started working a job, and then I didn't realize until later, man, I could do this too. I can move up too. And it's really, and it's really all about, making sure that you have that rapport. It's very important. My husband did not endorse that type of, do anything, get along, that kind of thing. He was like, I want to go in, I want to work, and I want to leave at 9 to 5. And I was starting to be more and more in tune with, it takes volunteering, it takes, doing helping out
Right.
when you don't necessarily have to, doing a little bit more, which is what made me get to, go to a different level.
Okay.
Sure.
The thing that helped with the financial stuff is when you get to a level where you start to get bonuses. And then I realized this is what these folks have been doing all
Along, getting the
Right.
bonuses.
And
Right.
getting the bonuses, and here we are. We're scraping by on what
Right.
the little 2
Check
and 3.
the
But
check.
but you got to have a personality for that, right?
Absolutely.
And I think maybe ladies tend to be a little bit more inviting than guys. They come in there, they're focused, they're laser sharp. I'm going to do what I got to do, and I got to go home.
Yeah.
I want to go. We're kind of nurturing, coddling. We
Social.
get along. We're social,
Social.
right?
Right.
And it
We
makes a
social,
difference.
and it does. It can help us. It can hurt us in some instances. It's how you do it.
Right.
And it sounds like the route that you took helped you to get those promotions and those accolades and those type of things. For me, I feel like they look at it. I don't know if I'm the clown because I make everybody feel good, but that's not what my job is. It's like I look at it this way. I got to be here 60 hours a week. That's a long
Wow.
time for us to not get along.
Yes, exactly.
I'm spending more time with you than with my family.
Absolutely.
My son. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Shouts out to Christopher. So, I spend more time with you guys, and I think we should get along at least from a collaboration perspective
Right.
so we can do this work, do what we need to do, and get on our little merry way.
Speak.
I also noticed the dynamics with corporate is that the males tend to come in early, really early. Why? I don't know if they're dropping kids off.
No.
I don't know if they're fixing lunch.
There's
I don't
no
know if they're
traffic.
fixing breakfast. Fonda says no traffic, but they have a stay-at-home wife. I'm not a stay-at-home wife. Can I get an amen at the
Amen.
table?
Amen.
So unfortunately, people that kind of look like me, for the most part, they've had to work, right? The husband and the wife
Exactly.
has to work. The people I report to, their wives, is this on? Is this mic on? Their wives do not work.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
they don't understand when I say things like, I have to go and pick up my son. You understand? And now my dynamic is different. I'm divorced. So I am a single entity in my son's life. So when I say I have to go, I gotta go.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Because he's not at a place, he's not a teenager or anything where he can take care of himself. He still needs his mom. I don't want my kid to be on Dr. Phil talking about my mother was never there for me because
Right.
she's always working. But it's just an imbalance. It's subtle. Because even now we have all this technology, they still don't want you to work from home. They still want you to be in the office. Am I
So
saying
true.
something? Come on, Zelda,
Yes,
jump in here and say
yes,
something.
yes. Exactly. What was odd with the company that I just left was we've had consultants
Right.
making more hourly, even though they didn't get benefits,
Right.
able to work at home.
Right.
But the full-time employees,
You had to be there.
you had to be there. So I would drive an hour
Yes.
to work
Yes.
to jump on a conference call
Right, that you
to
could-
talk to someone that's in Detroit
Right.
that I could have rolled out of my bed
And
and
did.
took that call.
And can do that,
You know,
yeah.
and got the same thing done.
It's control.
So yes, it said we want to see you sitting at your cube.
Right.
We want to see you in your cube.
Now, how has hubby supported you as you've been working through corporate?
Now, actually, our background's different because he did not go to college. When we actually met, we worked for the city government together.
Okay.
And that's probably why our friendship that we're so close.
Right.
And you see how we interact. But so his mentality was retire. He worked for this city government for 32 years and retired
Right.
with a nice pension.
Nice.
So when I was talking about my dream,
Mm-hmm.
well, nice in his eyes as compared to, you know, people not being able to retire. When I told him I was ready to do my own thing, I wanted
Right.
to be an entrepreneur. And
Right.
he's like, no, you want to leave? You're supposed to stay there, get your pension
Really?
first, and then
Okay.
do your thing. So he's supportive, but at the same time, he knows that I'm driven and I'm motivated.
Right.
And even though having a 13-year-old daughter
Right.
and him there being retired, that every now and then, you know, you kind of slip to say, maybe I waited too late.
Right.
Maybe, because I'm 53, so I'm 2 years younger than you. It said, maybe I missed that window.
No.
And it keeps coming back to say, no, it's
never
not
too late. You know
It's
when
too
it's late?
When
When
I'm
you're in the
ground.
casket. Right.
Exactly.
That's when
I'm in
it's
the
late.
ground.
As long as you have breath in your body and you wake up every day and you just have this vibrancy for life. Even when people see you, I look at you, your smile is infectious. So there's a lot of good things in you that's got to come out. And being stuck in a cube all day long that doesn't give you an opportunity to touch that as well as do what you need to do for them, it's just not good for your aura. It's just, and sometimes we just get so comfortable.
Yes,
that's the thing.
that's it.
We get comfortable in the routine because, to hubby's point, it's safe. You know, it is money.
Right.
It's not guaranteed money, but it's on its way for the most part, right? Every time. And thank you, Lord, you know, every 2 weeks, whoo, that direct deposit email comes across on your cell phone and said, you know, Bank of America said, whoo, we got some at 3:40 in the morning. Am I talking 3:40 in the morning? Like, woo! And you're like, yes. And you've already mathematically calculated all the bills
You
that have
spent
to
that
go.
money mentally.
It's already
And
spent.
what's left over?
And what's left over? Can I kick it with the girls? Can I do something with my baby girl? Me and hubby, we're gonna do this. Or, you know what I'm saying? And so it is a safeguard, right?
Yes.
But then when God pulls the
Pulls it.
blanket, like
Yes.
the rug right from under your feet, because
Safety
we didn't
net.
expect that. When you inboxed me and said, Michelle, my last day is gonna be, I said, what? You don't expect it, but that's the world and the economics and the economy that we live in, because it's all about supply and demand, right? So if they have a product that people are not vibing to, they got to make adjustments so that the people that we work to continue to sit where they sit, and then that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? But it's never too late, to your point. So Fonda, tell me, I know Dad was a big influence, like, well, you know, you got to work, baby girl, you got to work. But while you were doing it, because you were in fashion, that had to be a little exciting. That had to be exciting. No? Look at her face. You can't see her face.
I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't exciting at all. The fashion piece.
It sounds exciting on paper.
Okay.
There are a lot of politics in fashion industry, as in every industry. It wasn't fun. It was a bore. Well, actually, you know, to your point about the whole layoff thing, I was already in my next phase, my next phase of my career.
Okay.
I was doing that both full time. I was working full time during the day, and I was working full time on the nights and the weekends. And then I got the call. Actually, I got called into the office. This is how I was laid off. This is real crappy. But I got laid off where my boss's boss called me in, and then her boss was like in Boston somewhere, and she laid me off over the phone.
Wow. How nice is that?
And then I found out that my boss's boss could have saved my job, but she didn't want me there because I was just too happy.
You're too much.
I was just too much.
You're just too much.
You know, and I am, and it's good. You know,
Yeah.
it worked out.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
They want you to turn yourself down, like turn your knob down as to who you are. And that's, instead of using it and capitalizing off of it, they're intimidated by it.
Well, there's always a bigger vision. You know, there's always there's someone that has power and dominion over my life who is bigger than, the fashion industry.
Right.
So my ultimate goal was to work for myself anyway, and I just needed a little help.
Okay.
So the universe put its foot in my hind parts.
Right.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that foot in your hind part. How did you start? When you was like, okay, corporate doesn't want me. I see it. I feel it. Okay, what do I do? Yeah, like, did you already have this envision? Was it being a massage therapist? Was it being the motivational speaker? Was it being, what was it? How did it kind of spark for you?
Okay, so I'm working out all my parental issues on this podcast.
Okay.
So my mom.
It's therapeutic, y'all. It's
That's
therapeutic.
right.
We're here to help the people.
Yes. So I saw my mom get, she, after 28 years, she wanted an early retirement. They wouldn't give it to her.
Wow.
And she didn't see a way of making it on her own. She wanted to open a daycare. Well, anyway, long story short, 20 years ago, the whole thing was beginning to shift, the whole corporate workplace, because she was a word processor. And they would not give it to her. She was 50 years old, and they told her she had to wait till she was 62. Well, she passed away 6 weeks after she left her job.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
From the day she left to the day of her funeral the day she died was 6 weeks.
Wow.
And so she is my muse as to, just do it.
Do it.
You know, if death is coming and we can't get out of here, without it, then, what do you have to lose?
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
Exactly.
You can replace a job.
Right.
You can
True.
replace, people in your life, but you can't replace this breath that you take.
Right.
Right. So that's the fire in which that's my motivation. That's
Gotcha.
my inspiration is my mom. Because she checked all the boxes. She did everything right.
Right.
The way she was told.
That's powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was supposed to be for you. Moni saying that's powerful. So that's your vitamin for the day, because you can't wait, right? You can't wait. Tomorrow's not promised.
No.
Right?
She was 50.
She was 50. Young lady. Beautiful woman, I'm sure. So for you and hubby, like, how did you didn't know hubby back then, so you know hubby now. So is he involved in your entrepreneurialism? Like, is he engaged, or how does that work out?
Well, it's a good thing I don't, have a problem sharing all my business. Okay, so with that being said, I was already working for myself when we met, and 2 months after we met, we were moved in, engaged, and in business together.
Wonderful.
Wow.
So he's a person.
Is that the universe? That's a universe thing, right?
You know how you just write some things down and you just get on about life and, just like blah da da, kind of thing.
Right,
It's just like, ooh, who you? Kind of thing.
Wow.
So he was more into my business and more supportive of my business as a massage therapist, because it was a more natural fit, right, with the personal training.
Right.
And but he got tired of me talking about, like, because I would just be on my sound box, on my soapbox. I'd be like, la, 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 and he's just like, you need to write about it. And I was just like, Right. And so I wrote about it. And so he he's a hard one to impress
Mm.
because his bar for me is really high.
Is high?
It's really
high
high because
bar.
he thinks, well, he says to me, I think that you're awesome. So I need
Nice.
the world to know that you are that.
Nice.
So he's
Great.
tough. He's a tough one.
Nice.
Right.
Nice. Awesome. So now, we're going to come back to brands in just a second. But I really want to talk about, we talked about the cons a little bit, but the pro for me with corporate was I meet beautiful people like Zelda. I worked for a company for 15 years. 15 years. They saw me come in there almost after I moved to Atlanta, like a little bit after. So they saw me as a young adolescent, like a young girl, when there was still Freaknik. Right? For those listening, we're here in Atlanta. We are recording this in Atlanta. We're at Honey Bubble at 798 Ponce de Leon in Atlanta. So I've been here for a long time. So I was freaknicking when I was working for these people. You understand what I mean? Like, woohoo! Like that company touched 3 decades of my life, like the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And so in that, the people I worked with, I got promotions. You know, I moved from one department. I started on the help desk, and I moved up here, and I moved in here, and I moved, and I moved, and I moved, and I got to a bonus level, as Moni talked about, and I was like, ooh, this is utopia. But the people that I met along the way became my family.
That's right.
Real talk. It was bigger than anything we had to do day to day. They were family. So they checked on you. They saw you. They sent something to you if you were sick. You know, it was a family dynamic in conjunction to them having their own family. It was the fact that we got along so well. And I even said several times that this company has a way in picking the right people to work here. You know what I mean? Some people have a knack for that. They pick the right entities of people and you get along. These people saw me when I was freaknicking. I used to go right over there and eat them wings over there, but on Barstool, chilling, blah, blah, blah. They saw me with different cars, different people. They saw me single, evolve to get married, get pregnant. That job threw me 4 baby showers. The people, they loved me. They threw showers. They saw me have the birth of my son. Then my marriage dissolved, and they have been supportive through every major milestone that happened in my life. So it is bigger than what we do in getting the paycheck. There are some people that are assigned to you that will stay with you for the rest of your life. And the mere fact that I can just reach out to Zelda and she's doing this just speaks to the type of people that I've been blessed to work with that still be like, listen, we don't do lunch every week or dinner and this and that. And you don't come over to my house for Christmas, but I see you. And I believe in you. I believe in what you're doing, and I think it's great. And by the way, I want my daughter to encompass some of this flavor that you're doing as well. So it's a generational thing. So Moni, I know that you are a very outgoing person in a sense because that motherly thing that you have, you did just a great job in raising your son. You have this nurturing thing inside of you. And I know that because you have people that report to you, you probably take a little personal interest in some of it. So I think there's an emotional tie for you. Do you think that you'll be at a point where you can separate the two? Because at the end of the day, it's corporate. That's their responsibility, not yours.
Well, yes, actually, probably more so in recent years than in before. At one point, I had 18 young employees reporting, and more coming on. And I used to have a really, really good rapport with everybody that I worked with. As time has gone on, and the politics of the company's changed, it's not quite as as intimate as it used to be. You know, we work from home mostly now. Everybody's home. I work from home 4 days a week.
That's good.
In the office once a week. And so it's almost as though if you don't know them now, you probably won't get to know them.
Right.
And most of the companies, kind of evolved into that as well. So it's become more difficult to establish those relationships. I see a lot more nepotism, a lot more networking on the other side, whereas before, I could pull in and say, I'm bringing someone in. I brought people in, and one young man I brought in, and when he started to not exhibit those behaviors that were necessary, instead of cutting him immediately, I brought him into my office, And I had written him up and said, I want you to read this. And he read that, and it was, this is what's about to happen to you. And then I told him, now I want you to tear this piece of paper up.
Wow.
I tore it up in his face, and I said, I'm going to give you another chance.
Wow.
Wow.
And I said, because I believe that you got what you
Right.
need.
You're bigger than this.
Absolutely bigger than this.
Right.
But I've seen so many kids, and so many of our kids not given that same opportunity, and that's what I thought I was there for.
Right.
I believe that I was there to bridge that relationship with a lot of these young people and to try to show them what they were not getting in their higher learning or whatever the case may be. And then I told them if you don't, I've actually, and this is crazy, pulled kids into my office before who were bickering and said, hold your hand out.
And slap the hand. You slapping hands, Moni?
I could have been fired.
You slapping hands. Now you sound like the lunch lady. I'm thinking the lunch lady who is like, I see these babies that's hungry and need something to eat, and we're just going to throw all this food away, and I'm going to give this food. You're one of them.
I was one of them. And that's exactly what I did. I called them in. I got a phone call from Human Resources saying they're down here misbehaving in a meeting. Called them into my office, closed the door. And I asked them what was going on, and when they said, well, I said, hold your hands out.
And they got with them.
And they did.
And they did. And I got each one of them, and not until after they got up to leave. And I told them, I said, let me say one thing to you. You will never progress in this company or any company unless you learn how to behave. You are a representative of your parents. You're representative of your communities. You're representative of me when you leave this department.
Right.
So if you don't get it together now, you're going to be out of here.
Right.
But I think that you have to have more people to do that to these young people.
Yeah.
Right.
For these young people, let me say that. And I let them go. They were all shocked, mouths hanging open. And if had one of them gone to Human Resources, I probably would have lost my job.
Right. But I think the thing is people don't care, right? I don't think that the corporate it's a business. It's a machine, and the whole thing and what we was raised on about the pension and staying there until you retirement. I think those times are over. So I don't have a sense that there are deposits made into their employees for longevity, like for growth and to stay with the company and build it up. It's kind of like you get in where you fit in. And it's this whole consulting thing or contract thing that Zelda talked about. The contractors are able to get more than the full-time people that are there. And, I left full-time to do contractors, to get that, to ride that train a bit. And it was beneficial.
Well, it's interesting because you have people on one side saying, or the company saying one side is that they're not loyal. They're not, so they're expendable. They're easily expendable. Right. But then you have the young people and the older people now. I'm talking, it's not just the young folks.
Right.
I'm seeing people get walked out that are 2 years from retirement.
Right.
Exactly.
6 months from retirement.
Right.
And
Wow.
And that kind of thing is very disheartening.
Very hard.
Yeah.
And then you say, and I worked hard and I've been loyal. I'm talking about, I work for a company that has gone through a lot of change.
Yeah.
In the past few years, I stayed there when it was tough, when people were trying to solicit me away. And that's when you say, yes. And then for someone to sit there and say, well, I'm sorry, we don't need you in this position, is being eliminated.
Right.
That's real tough. So, that was part of what I think I gave, is that I gave these young people, a start, and as someone that cared beyond, leaving home, as well as this is how you get into corporate America. You have to work hard, but you also have to establish relationships, because that's what it's about. It is about relationships.
Right.
Life is about relationships.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I say that all the time. And, Michelle knows my son. I have a 27-year-old, and I'm going to ask her if I think that this is something that she should probably do for a group of young people 30 and under as well. This type of forum.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they need to be heard, and they need to be able. And these are kids that have grown up, have gone to college, graduated, and coming out that aren't getting the job.
Not getting the job. Right.
Like you said before.
Right. Because everything's outsourced.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Everything's outsourced,
Absolutely.
which is a slightly insulting. I've called just places for customer service, and if they can't understand what I'm saying, I hang up. I do.
You can't communicate.
Right,
So you have to hang up.
right. I'm insulted because I worked a networking or a marketing job when I was your son's age, like young. I worked and went to college where I was doing cold calling or telemarketing or customer service jobs, and those jobs are gone. So kids that are going to school who are still on their parents' pockets are killing their parents' pockets because they can't find a job at all. You telling me that everybody's got to work in fast food? That shouldn't be the case. And so the soft skills are gone because you don't get the practice. Because before you had scripts when you did telemarketing, you had to say your name. Hi, good afternoon. I'm Michelle Dawes-Bird, and I'm here calling on behalf of so-and-so. And they monitored you and made sure, because to Moni's point, you're a representative of me and my company, and you got to sound a certain way, behave a certain way. And you got those soft interpersonal skills by doing that. Now, you give it to an entity of people. Because what it is I don't want to pay Zelda what she's worth. I mean, she comes with a vast amount of experience and knowledge, and rightly so. Industry standards said I should pay her X, but instead of me doing that, I'm just going to go and get it for half the price or 2/3 of it. And so doesn't your company suffer? Because I think the quality of what you're offering is slightly tarnished. And then what does that say for people like Zelda trying to get in? There's no generational stuff. There's been companies where you work long enough, then all of a sudden your kid's coming in as an intern working in the mailroom or something. Like, you can't even get those kind of opportunities.
Absolutely.
So let me ask Fonda, because Fonda is all about getting your power back, like taking your power back.
Yes.
And so as corporate people, Fonda, we tend to surrender all. We feel like, oh my God, if they lay us off, I don't know what to do. And it's people like Dave Ramsey and Clark Howard that always talk about financial planning, right? And you're supposed to have X amount of money saved for a rainy day. But damn it, when that money come in, it's already gone. You know what I'm saying? So realistically, to Moni's point, and to your previous experience, Fonda, if somebody says, you know, that Michelle is just too whatever she is, I think I think she should be gone. How do we recover from that? What would be a vitamin or suggestion that you could say to us to kind of like, don't worry about it? How could we not worry about something like that, if that's possible?
That's loaded. Okay, so
yeah, because you carry big guns, baby.
you know, well, Dave Ramsey and all of those guys, like, while they are right that we should have financial planning, they are speaking to our fear.
Yes,
and that keeps us paying attention to what they have
Good
to
answer.
say.
See, those guns are loaded. You see what I mean? I wasn't worried when I asked you that question. Speak, Fonda.
And so the other side is that one should always have a side hustle. You know,
another point.
Do you have a T-shirt you can sell? Is there an MLM that you can be interested in?
Awesome.
Different streams of income are necessary for us to be able to say, okay, if Obama pulls all of the care, and I still need to go to the doctor,
right?
The doctor still want his money. So what am I going to do?
Right.
You know, so always be looking down the pike, like, okay, what skills, talents, and passions do I have that I can turn into income?
Nice. I like that. I like that. So I like powerful what you said.
Hustle.
I love that. But the fear, they talk to your fear. Even though it's empowering information, it talks to the fear. Is it your faith, Fonda, that keeps you so focused and to me, you're calm. I know there's moments as human beings that we're off. We might be nervous about something, but your presentation and your style is always calming. Is it faith? Is it meditation? Is it prayer? What keeps you even tempered or just nice? How does that? What keeps you centered? Because people need to know that.
Well, I think it's delicious. You think I'm nice.
Yeah.
But all of the above.
Okay.
Right. So prayer, writing.
Yes.
Talking.
Right.
And a lot of practice.
Okay.
You know, when the emotions come up, you'll allow them to live and come up. Like if you're angry, be angry. If you're sad, be sad. You know, because to choke them down, you know, it just does something to your body because all your cells are listening.
Right.
So you have to just let it out because it's just a moment. It's just an emotion. You are emoting, right?
Nice.
So definitely how to keep calm is to feel your feelings fully. Let them pass through you. Don't stay. Don't be wallowing like a pig in the mud, rolling round and round and round, because that doesn't get you anywhere.
Okay.
take the time. I gotta get the light of you out of my mind. I can't wait to see what a little freedom will do to me. Love letters leave paper trails. Had me running in circles, chasing my tail. I gotta move it on. You took all of my fancies and left for gone. Go on. Take the
So I think it's a good place here. Talk to a little bit about Fonda Clayton, the brand. Let people know what your brand is about so they can kind of like follow you and chase you and be motivated and inspired by you. Talk about that a little bit.
You tickle me.
I do?
Yes. Fonda Clayton, the brand, has been this evolving type of thing. So it first began by touching bodies. I'm a licensed massage therapist.
Nice.
But just massaging people was boring to me because I wanted to see what made people tick. Like, why are they coming to me week after week with the same pain? And it's more than how you're sleeping. It's really about, like, what is that pain trying to tell you? So I always would dig deeper.
Nice. Okay.
Because the body always has a message. It's always communicating. And everything for me is emotions.
Right.
You know, if you're not dealing with your emotions, they will come back to bite you in the,
Wow.
you know.
Wow.
So really, how do you are the power that propels you forward.
Right.
Or you're your own detriment.
Right.
And so whatever you think about and give space to grows.
Okay.
Right? So if we are fearful all the time, then we're just going to have more fear show up in every area in our lives.
Right.
So the brand is just really about being your own personal revolution.
Nice. Nice. Do we have a website?
FondaClayton.com.
Thank you. And I take it you're on social media?
Yes, everything Fonda Clayton's all.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
great.
on Pinterest and YouTube and Facebook
Awesome.
and all that. Thank
Awesome. So because some genius didn't like Fonda, now we have FondaClayton.com. Now because of that, right? So one man's loss is another man's gain. So now, Zelda, because of, you talked about early on in our conversation that, you know, April of this year, they did away with your department, your area. How long had you worked for that particular company?
9 years.
9 years. So now it's like, what do I do, right? So talk a little bit about your passion and what you want to do now that you have this opportunity.
Well, it sounds like we're all writers.
Yeah.
And I've been writing poetry. I'm from New York also. I'm from the Bronx.
Yay.
And I've been writing poetry since I was in junior high school.
Okay.
The little corny ones back in the time. But what I did when I worked for the city government was I started writing in particular topics. So golf, weddings, baby poems.
Right.
And that's when my husband and we were working together, and I said every time I would have a spoken word moment with my coworkers, they would say, I want that poem.
Nice.
So I told them, I said, well, how about we sell one poem? We sell framed poetry.
Right.
So it was right around Christmas, and I went in Excel, made a little spreadsheet, order form, the poems I had written, and went to our colleagues and was like, okay, I got my sister, my friend, I have this poem. And people were ordering them like crazy. I mean, we were up all night packaging, fixing these poems up. So I said, we need to start a business. And of course, you know, work, family, did the co-work through the co-workers, and then kind of drift off and did a few here and there. But every time God would keep bringing it back to say, this is your passion, this is your gift I gave you. And I started doing Braille and everything. So when I got close to getting, they started laying people off last year.
Yes.
So what was odd was I cleaned my desk in December.
You knew it.
I had already taken everything home. Had a box of tissue and a candy jar with them on my desk. So the closer it was getting, when people said, I heard this happening this Friday, I heard this happening this particular day. And it's actually when I was called in there, I didn't feel, devastated. Right. Because I already was saying, I'm starting to plan this other
life.
Multiple streams of income.
That's right.
This plan B.
Yes.
And then that's what I'm doing now. I already had my poetry. It's already been written and copyrighted since my daughter was born in 2001.
Right.
And I said, okay, it's time to start compiling this
putting
information.
This together.
And I need to do this book. I kept saying
yes. And let me tell you something about Zelda. She's on the Facebook with the selfies and going to lunch. When she inboxed me, she said, Michelle, I'm no longer. And I said, what? The next day, selfies with a group of people at lunch. We over here. And we over here, and she's getting a dinner in and a couple of happy hours. And I was like, I ain't never seen nobody get papers
happy,
and
right?
be turned up. I'm talking turned up. Like, this is crazy. She looked phenomenal. She made, like, getting her papers look so damn good. She looked attractive. I said, ooh. And I was looking at my schedule because you know that Facebook tells you everything.
That's
So
right.
I'm looking at my schedule.
Can I fit it in?
Yeah, I'm like, can I get in? Can I get in on some of this? I'm checking my schedule, and if I wasn't tied up in meetings every day, because I was going to come and crash. She said, Dave and Buster, she's over here, she's over there. That's Zelda Lane. I said, you know what? That's how you do it. That's how you
God
do it.
has a way of moving you. You don't move fast enough, he'll
Yeah,
move
he'll
you.
move you right on out of there. He'll move. So, will you guys have a website, or how can people get a hold of this beautiful poetry today? Like, how do they get at you?
It's poetic experience. And actually, I'm working with my nephew and possibly my niece to develop a mini movie on some of my poetry. I wrote
Isn't
one
it?
about
Yes.
his mom
Nice.
called "We'll Be All Right."
Yes.
and we're working on that.
Can
project
I
as well.
talk? I need a poem. I need some poetry in my house. I'm not a writer. I've said that before. Writing is not my thing, but I like to bask amongst those that can write. I think it's a beautiful talent, and there are still quite a few people that enjoy reading and not just watching, but reading, because it
Right,
touches your heart when you read it off that paper. So I want to get something for me. I need to have. I don't have any poetry.
Wow.
That we have to change that. That's
Yes.
exciting stuff. So the
Yes.
timing of this has been just really great,
Yes.
because you've been prepared for this. So do you think that what happened with you, are you sensing that other people that got laid off as well are following suit? Are they following their passions, or no?
Well, you know what's odd is normally when I leave, like when I left city government, I wrote a poem, a
Right.
farewell poem.
Right.
Well, when I left this particular job, I wrote a poem called Time.
Really?
And when I sent it to the CIO,
Really?
I tried to send it to the president of the company, but
Wow.
I was not allowed.
Wow.
But I sent it to VPs, and people were coming back saying words of wisdom.
Nice.
You know, because I was saying, going back to what you said, as far as I see you,
Yeah.
was part of my poem to say, smiling is free.
Right.
You could walk past somebody, you can give them a smile. It doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
That you don't know what they're going through.
Right.
And a lot of times we have upper management that they're so focused, I don't know, it's on the work they're doing or keeping
They're
their
afraid of-
job,
Yep,
trying to keep their
exactly.
job, that tunnel vision, they're not even paying attention. So they can't even say hello or recognize you, you know, and they're trying to turn that around a little now, you know, because a lot of people have complained. But a lot of people came back and said, I'm talking about directors and VPs.
Right.
What are your plans when you leave?
Right.
And I said, I'm following my passion.
That's
I
right.
said, I'm writing poetry
That's
books.
awesome.
I want to write children's books.
Nice.
You know, and then they said, you know, there's other things I want to do.
Yes.
I wish I had time.
Nice. Nice.
You
See,
know.
nice. And see, we're put in these places to wake up things in people. Right?
Sure.
We're not here just because to get the check. We're talking about it, but you are assigned to be there at a particular time, if nothing else, to touch one person,
Exactly.
to wake something up, because there's a lot of gifts inside of us, but we compress them. We because of fear, as Fonda said, we are scared. We don't want to do it. Who's going to buy into it? Nobody's going to buy it. Sometimes it's not even about buying it. It's what is it that you believe about yourself to put out there. That's what it is. So Moni, you got a couple of vitamins. I see you absorbing
Wow.
the vitamins.
I'm in awe of the women that I'm sitting here with.
Aren't they beautiful? And so
Oh,
are you.
gosh.
So are you.
That's really
So are you,
awesome.
and I'll help you. So Moni Moni has a knack for politics,
Wow.
which is very good and interesting for people of color. Yes, those that are listening, these are 4 beautiful women of color here talking to you today. And she, when there is nominations or runoffs or political presidential candidacy, local offices, she goes nuts, because she doesn't like the laws that are in place, the bills that are being passed, the outcomes, the fact that people are not people like us, the common people, the people that have the right to vote, are not paying attention to what's going on. So she has this thing inside of her that she won't let loose. And so I can see it. We're here today, and this I think was important. And again, I invited several women to be a part of this topic. Some of the women are doing very well in corporate America, like VP levels, you know what I'm saying, doing extremely well and have mentored me in the, Michelle, you see the writing on the wall? It might be time for you to get over here or do this. I'm talking about, but for whatever reason, the universe said they couldn't make it. And I thought of this person. I thought of Moni because I have had conversations with her where the pain of it, I'm talking painstaking of a passion that I want to do and this thing that I gotta do, right? This thing that I gotta do pays these bills. But this thing that I want to do, I can't get to it. And I feel her sense of stuck in this dynamic, right? And so I want you to talk about if you had an opportunity, right? Money wasn't an issue. You could just leave your job today. What exactly would you do?
Wow, that's loaded too. Because several things.
You got the guns, baby. Pull them out one at a time. Pop,
Hello.
pop,
Yeah.
pop.
But I guess I'm one of those people that I'm very external.
Yeah.
I'm always watching what's going on in the world.
Yes.
And that's part of my pain that I carry because I wish that I could, and I'm going to tap into Miss Fonda because I have to learn how to calm down and how to not be so external, not let that stuff get to me, but it does.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me, every time I hear of another African American male that's gunned down, or when I hear about people like Zelda who gets let go from jobs that they, because we're exporting our jobs away, and a lot of that is political,
Right.
and part of it's the people that own our company, own our country.
Right.
We've got so many countries coming in that own different parts of our businesses
Our
and things of that
neighborhoods,
nature.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
America
and
doesn't own America.
No, it
absolutely,
sure
it's
doesn't.
not. And so we always talk about patriotism, and and how patriotic is it when we, like you said before, when we ship out our jobs overseas, while we still continue to say we don't have enough jobs here in the U.S. and we need to work to do this. And there are certain things that are going on in government where we not allowing the president. Doesn't matter who's president. We just need to get the job done.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
So it doesn't matter who's in there. Let's do it.
Chegou, e não vou deixar chegar. Quem não pode tomar diga, não carrega
Malandro sente desejo.
Pô, tu fala que mete a fuxa.
Malandro não fala. Malandro manda uma letra.
Porra, para de gastar em português contigo que tá foda.
Malandro não para. Malandro dá um tempo.
that you'll stay by my side. If not, I guess I'll roll the dice, 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 dice. What's the noise in your mouth? Don't call me no names. Talking is talking, that is all for the fame. What's the noise in your mouth? Don't call me no names. Names, 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 names. What's the noise in your mouth? Don't call me no names. Talking is talking, that is all for the fame. What's the noise in your mouth? Don't call me no names. Names, 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 names. Names, names. Names, names. Names, names. Names, names. Names, names. I've been through a lot just to make you mine. So how am I supposed to be just fine? Love takes a backseat and it hurts me. It hurts me, yeah. In the present, seeing your past isn't wrong. She longs to have your heart. Make me, oh me. She raised the song, 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 song. What's the noise in your mouth? Don't call me no names. Talking is talking, that is all for the fame. What's the noise in your mouth? Don't call me no names. Names, 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 names. What's the noise in your mouth? Don't call me no names. Talking is talking, that is all for the fame. What's the noise in your mouth? Don't call me no names. Names, 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 names. Names, names. Names, names. Names, names. Names, names. Names, names. Names, names.
Right.
But you've got so much, and it's interesting how much we talk about the politics, and we've set up and we've watched, our shows and everything, and we get mad. And she's right. I get very, get very angry about it, and I'm very emotional about it because yes,
Very
it's
passionate.
very because I just don't understand why. I do understand why, but I don't understand why.
Yes.
If
Yes.
that makes any sense.
So would you want to be a columnist? Would you want to write about it, or partner with some of these political people to show them a better way of doing things?
Well, I probably because I like to write, I would probably be more of a writer, because I've had a friend who got involved in politics and through the process realized it's not for the weak. It is not for the weak. It's not even for the person who feels a sense of justice.
Right.
That I'm very justice minded. If I see something happening someplace, I want to jump in. And I'll give you guys just a little snippet of what happened to me today. My husband and I were out to breakfast right after church. We go to breakfast. There's a restaurant here in Decatur, and it says, "Don't sit at your table until you've ordered your food." And it's got a little flow. It's got the little flow, so it says, "Order your food. Go to the table." Well, this young lady and her friend comes up, and And he goes in, or she goes in, and he sits down. So
To
now
hold
he's
the
taking up
table.
seat that the people that are supposed to be,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Long story short, you know, I stop her and I said, well, ma'am, I said, you're supposed to. Now, I said to, you know, my husband, I said, should I say anything? And he knows me.
Right. Right. I don't even know why you asked him,
I'm a
because
lot
you was
more
going to go do it.
And so
It
I
was
just said,
considered done.
Yeah, and I just said, ma'am, I said, you're not supposed to sit until you get your food. It's kind of a flow. She said, I know, but I'm just going to do it anyway.
How about that?
And that's the thing when I say the justice-mindedness in me, that I
Sure.
just want people to, you know,
Do
follow
right.
the rules.
Do right.
Why don't you do right?
Do right.
Just follow the rules.
Do right.
You know, now you follow the rules unless it's something that's wrong. Now there's nothing,
Sure.
you know, there was nothing wrong with that flow. So what happens is the girl who was the waitress comes out and she goes over to the guy and asks him if he would, you know, could he get up for whatever the reason. Well, he gets up and he looks at my husband and says, "You're a tattletale."
Wow. Wow.
And my husband's like, "I don't even know who you are. What's the problem?" You know, and
Mm-hmm.
he jumps up and he says, "You're a woman," you know that kind of thing.
Oh no.
So, you know, well, she was, he thought we told on him, but we hadn't. It was just that I had said something to his,
Follow the rules.
and that's exactly what. So he's come out, called him a tattletale and something, and I just said, just follow the rules.
Well,
and that's as
you
simple
know,
as it is.
right.
You know, I'm talking about if they're choking people over here, okay, we're not going to do that.
Right.
But you follow the rules, and I just thought about that, and I was like, and it made me feel bad because it made me feel like I shouldn't have gotten involved.
And she probably was going to go to him anyway.
Yeah.
She probably saw him sit down. And was gonna tell
Absolutely,
him
and that's what
anyway.
I was told my husband later. I said she was going to probably say something to him, but because I said something to the girl,
Sure.
he thought that we said something to her.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, but you cannot let that not let you get involved.
Right.
You still have to get involved when you see something happening.
Sure.
I always wonder when they have those "What Would You Do" shows.
Yes.
Why they
Mhm.
always have them in New Jersey, New York. Why don't they come here to Atlanta?
And so you can tell
I
them.
said,
into
hello.
existence.
You
Moni
remember
will
the
be
little
right
baby in
there.
church throwing
Yeah.
the pacifier over my shoulder. Lady kept letting the baby throw the pacifier over my shoulder. I take the pacifier. This is in church. Throw the pacifier over my shoulder again. Pick the pacifier up and gives it back to the
Wow.
lady. Third time it comes over and I put it in my lap. And the lady tapped me on the shoulder. "Can I have my babies?" I said, "No, not until after service. You had an
Right.
opportunity to keep this when you
From
did."
happening.
But
Right.
long story short, so I'm very justice minded, and I'm very. I like to be fair. I like to try to do things the right way, and in my job, I try to do that same thing. But I'm starting to feel this sense of, and I think this is part of what I'm
Okay.
supposed to be getting.
Okay.
That I'm supposed to be getting ready to make my. I've
Yes,
had
sir.
several. Yeah, I've had several offers out of the company, but when we talk about that pension thing,
Right.
nobody offers pension anymore. My company
Right.
does.
No.
And I'm
Right.
saying, but I got to be prepared. I got to make certain. I got to have these
Right.
boxes checked.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Right.
But I know that God has something in store for me.
He does.
And I know that writing is part of it.
Right.
Do you have a
It-
blog?
I don't have a blog. I'm not on Facebook, and I need to do that.
Right.
Because
Do
I,
those today.
Okay,
Yeah.
I absolutely will. And that's one of the things. I met a lady in the store one day, and she told me, she gave me her name
Yeah.
and everything, and she said, "I blog," and she told me to do
You
it.
got to.
And there's this fear
perfect.
about,
fear.
you know, and I should not have a fear, but
No
I'm,
fear.
I'm fearful of I'm fearful of Facebook. I don't get on, you know, Michelle
Yeah.
can tell you, I'm not on
Yeah.
Facebook.
I
I'm
had
not,
to. I had to actually text her. I couldn't invite her.
I don't know anything
yeah,
going on
she
because I
had-
don't. And then when I say fear of Facebook, it's not fearful of Facebook. It's slow to me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say slow, it's that when I write something, I'm expecting somebody to write me right back.
Respond.
You're,
Right.
you're that kind
Right.
of person.
Not
It
the right
takes
thing.
a,
This is,
it can be used. Social media is designed, in my opinion, it helps to raise awareness if used the right way,
Yes.
way, and it helps promote your voice and your brand and your product. Again, take a peek at it, look at it, and then you may get infused in it. But I think the blogging, to Fonda's point, is the way that you would want to go, because it's an outlet for you to write.
Well, someone told us, my husband and I, because we're doing a book I was telling you about. I've been writing a book for the last 5 years. For the last 5 years. And it's about the baseball from an African-American mother's perspective.
Right.
And it's from the pain that I experienced and watching my
Yes.
son go
Yeah.
through this and play. And Michelle's heard
Yeah.
this story. And,
Yeah.
and you know, play and have a promising
Yes.
future. And then someone stops it, you know, just like that because they could.
Right.
You know, so that's part of the, you know, but that was the thing. When I started writing the book and I started expressing what I
Yes.
was, you know, some of the content, a gentleman asked me, "Where are your statistics?"
Wow.
And that's what stopped me, because I said, okay, now I've got to do more work.
Yeah, do
This is not just about
research.
an idea. I've got to do research.
Right.
I can't just say, more black kids aren't doing this because their parents are that kind of thing.
Well, yes and no, because I don't think that you need statistics to justify
Tell
your
your story.
experience.
That's
It
true.
was the idea that you had was your experience as a mom, as a wife, as a sports mom, as you call yourself. The fact that your family had big aspirations in this route for your son from he was little, very talented, and then to your point, it was taken away. So you don't need a statistic on that. That is your experience as a mom. And the thing is, there might be other moms or other parents that are experiencing similar situations. So it's an outlet
Right.
for them to get it.
Absolutely.
So no, don't let the statistics fool you. No.
That was part of it. And then another part of it was that when I started to talk to more people like yourself,
Right.
and I started hearing it from other people. So it wasn't just about baseball.
No.
And so then it was like, oh, it's overwhelming.
No.
So my thing is just kind of getting down and getting the format and what I want to do. Do I want to stick to just this, or do I want to make it more broad? So that's why I was talking to Michelle. I said, I've just got to get time to sit down with my thoughts, because that's the problem with me. I'm talking about, I'm always doing this. I'm on the road, with work and everything. And
But you got to, what the thing is, when you get sick and tired,
yeah.
when you get absolutely sick and tired, or you just want to breathe, you're going to make the time. And you're not going to make it reasons as to why you're not, because what you have is so a part of you. How could you separate it? Right? It should be something that you touch on a daily basis, because it's a part of you. So again, I hear fear, and I'm not going to get into Fonda's lane because she's seasoned in how to, identify different things
Well,
and
that's why I said Fonda
fears.
and I getting ready to be good
I
friends,
think you
too.
guys are going to be buddies. I can see her wheels just spinning over there because she wants to
Don't
help
act like
people.
You know me.
I don't. I like you though.
I like you a lot.
But I don't know you.
I'm joking.
I think she's really good at what she does. But yes, because even with me, and I'll share this, when I talk about different things, and she'll say to me, release the anger, and I do. But then I start to go in this path of judgment. And she'll say, nope, that's not what you need to do. Just acknowledge you're angry, get it out, but stop judging yourself. Because then I go in this spiraling, pity party, woe is me, what's wrong with me kind of thing. And that's not what it's about. I have every right to feel happy, sad, disappointed, or whatever.
Just don't stay there.
But just don't stay there, but don't judge myself for it. Just acknowledge it and let it be, right? So I think that you have a great opportunity here, because corporate, we don't know the stability of corporate. Again, this is why we're all here today. There was a lot of great things that came out of corporate America. It provides for us. It gives us an opportunity to grow. We have skill sets. I have skill sets that I didn't have 20 years ago, because I know how to facilitate a meeting. I know how to do certain things. I know how to run a project. I know how to do certain things. And even though I was chasing that corporate dream, I went and got my master's. So there were certain things that I did to better myself. And at the time, I thought it was for them. But at the end of the day, it's really for me, right? And to help people, right? And empower people. And I think the thing that we have to do, you brought a good point up, Moni, is we have to bridge this gap. There is a gap with our youth, because we are getting older. We're sexy and cute, but we're getting older. And there has to be somebody or some we have to pass on something to somebody. And enough to give them soft skills, life skills, business-minded skills, so that they can make intelligent decisions, and not some guidance counselor telling them, you need to go this route. No, you need to have enough information to make the best decision for you. Because working for corporate, you might get 3 to 5 years coming out the gate. Real talk. You're
In
not getting
today's
20.
economy, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Those days of 20 and 30 years is a wrap. You might get 3 to 5.
I got you on my mind. Can't stop thinking about you all the time.
companies don't even want you to last that long anymore.
I was gonna make that statement because one thing is that we don't do is that we don't teach our kids about entrepreneurship.
Right.
There's a group of gentlemen, and I can't remember where they're from, but it's about why don't you be your own boss, or why don't you get your own damn job or something.
What's his name? Yes.
And that's why don't you get your own darn company or something of that nature. But we don't teach our kids. Because I never taught my son to do that.
You didn't know that.
You know, we thought, we would like I said, we were chasing the baseball. We were chasing, but you have to chase what's in your heart.
Right.
Yes.
And and then my heart has always been telling stories.
Yes.
Telling stories. And I'll give you guys another brief little snippet. I went on a trip to Vermont for my job just last week, and I was on my way. Got out of leaving here at 6:30 in the morning at the airlines. Flight delayed. I was supposed to be there by 10:30 in the morning. I didn't get there until 10 o'clock that night.
Wow.
But in the mist, it was from Atlanta to Boston to Philadelphia, Philadelphia to Boston, Boston to New York, and then I drove. But let me tell you, out of that awful experience, I had gotten the most beautiful pictures that you would ever get of the sun setting on the ocean when I was riding across on a ferry.
Right.
So that kind of was saying, even in the midst of all that's going on, look at the beauty in it.
Right.
And look at the beauty of what what you've learned.
Right.
Because I know that there was something that you said earlier about what happened to your mother that really struck me. And it brought back a lot of pain for me and an experience of my own. But I'm going to write about it because it's a beautiful experience because you learn so much out of it.
Right. Right.
And that's just what we have to do no matter, life is not... what to say? It ain't no crystal stair.
Right.
It's a bowl of, what's a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. All those cliches. But at the end of the day, it's really about what we do with it. It's what 90% of what happens to 90% of what happens. No, is it 90% of what happens to you, but 10% of what happens, 90% what you do with it.
Right.
Sure.
And that's what we have to do. And that's why I appreciate you ladies. I appreciate you inviting me here today. But I also appreciate hearing your stories. And, it's just been amazing because you don't think, especially when you're in corporate, especially as long as I've been, and at the levels that I've been, you get afraid.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you think
there's too much momentum going in the one direction.
Absolutely.
That's all it is.
But I've seen systematically over the past 2 years, people that are my level above and things like that, my mentors and people torn down and pulled out. And it's almost kind of saying, you see the writing on the wall, so you need to take care of it, sister.
You got to pay attention. You got to pay attention to the signs. It's a good thing. I mean, again, this conversation wasn't to bash any kind of entity at all. It was just to raise awareness. I think there's a lot of people, unfortunately, that feel stuck. Right? They feel like they don't have an option. They don't have a choice, whether it be they feel that they lack creativity, whether they feel it's their age, whether they feel that it's economics. It's various, maybe it's a support system that's not in place. It's various different things that keep us in the places or the situations that we're in. And all I want to say, a couple of things, is that wherever you are, make the best out of it. Like, get as much of it as you possibly can to build up who you are as a person. Because I talk about brands all the time, but you are a brand. You are something. You have something to say. You have a gift to give. You get it. And you pay attention to your surroundings because nothing, unfortunately, lasts forever. And you got to be prepared for when something needs to change in your life. How are you going to be able to respond to that? And another thing, too, was today that was really powerful was about fear. Like, we got to stop operating in this dynamic of fear and just know that it's going to be what it's going to be. And you're going to be all right, regardless of the outcome. The thing is, you got to believe that you're going to be all right. So if you feeling that it's just too stressful, it's just too much of more of a negative than adding value to you as a person, you might want to start doing some evaluations. So with that, I just want to say I want to thank all my guests today. This was very informative.
Yes, it was.
Right?
A
lot of fun. I always like to bring people that never met each other before, but they walk out of here common bound, friends, getting to know each other. It was very informative. And again, it's to help people because we want to empower people with information. Thank you so much for being with us today. We want to thank Honey Bubble for allowing us to be here, and we do what we do at 798 Ponce de Leon in Atlanta. Shouts out to my engineer today, J Ray from Static Life. I can't do nothing without J Ray with these hot mics. We thank Jay for everything that he does. With that, I wish you and bid you an awesome and fantastic day. Continue blessings to you and rock on.
All right. Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got rhythm, I got rhythm too. Mm-hmm.